Hey everybody, today is Friday, April 5th, 2019. It's me, Jake Baldino, here every Friday to talk about the video game news that has been going on. And what a wild week. I should probably never do that again.
Yeah.
That was terrible.
Yep.
Sorry. Let's get right into the news because there's a lot to talk about this week. The first bit of news is some new Elder Scrolls information. Not a ton. I wish there was a little bit more, but I think you guys might find this stuff pretty interesting still. So last weekend at PAX East 2019, Bethesda had their own little side event going on. Bethesda talked a lot about their upcoming stuff. Todd Howard was there talking about stuff, and they aired a video essentially giving us a little bit on Elder Scrolls 6 and just the future of Bethesda. And what we did get was just a quick glimpse. It was one of those developer documentaries showing people modeling stuff, making the environment, and we do now know that Elder Scrolls 6 will be using photogrammetry technology. Essentially, like for the layman, photogrammetry is a graphics technology that relies on photorealism. It revolves around scanning real-world images and putting them into the game in a way that just doesn't make it look like a flat image. It actually can look pretty good when it's done right. Elder Scrolls 6 will be using this technology, and one of the leads behind the project did go on to say that they are trying to make it the best Elder Scrolls game ever, which, I mean, I'm sure they thought that way about Skyrim and Oblivion.
Imagine you made a sequel to your game and didn't approach it with that mentality.
We're like, we're not going to make the best one ever. We're going to make like an okay one. Not only that, they also gave a little glimpse at character models. We got to see a character being designed in the game, but it was actually a special person that they are putting in the game. Bethesda has announced that they are putting in Shirley Curry, the Skyrim grandma, in Elder Scrolls 6. I think that's really cool. We've talked about her on the show before. She's really awesome. She's been very active in the YouTube gaming community, and the fact that they are putting her in the game as an NPC is really awesome. Not only that, it seems like during this event, Todd Howard did say that both Starfield and Elder Scrolls 6 will not be making an appearance at E3. Expected, just because apparently Elder Scrolls 6 is so far away from now. But Starfield I assumed would be coming earlier, so I expected to see somewhat of a glimpse of it, but apparently that's not going to be a thing. Of course, things change. E3 is still a couple of months away, so we'll see. But for now, I just look at that as like, all right, cool. What else you guys got to show us? But moving on, let's get into some more graphics talk. I did just before mention photogrammetry, and this YouTube video has been making the rounds. I think you guys should check this out. This is a demonstration of photogrammetry working real time in Unreal Engine. And with the new version of Unreal Engine, this stuff is being rendered on the fly, completely manipulated on the fly with no real render or processing times. Things can be tweaked, things can be moved. This is photogrammetry essentially working the best it has been. This is essentially like an advertisement for Quixel. This is like a marketplace that sells real world scans that a developer can get and put into their game. Regardless of that fact, I think this stuff is just really impressive because not only does it look good, but it actually seems pretty tangible. It's running in real time. They have proven it. People have called them out, but it's pretty legit and it's exciting for the future. It's running on a 1080 Ti. But the big question is, of course, not graphics. The game's got to be fun. It's got to be good, right? But it seems like the idea behind photogrammetry is for a lot of developers that it can help them develop things faster so they can focus on making a good, fun, or deep game. If you want to check it out, the whole video is linked in the description below so you can watch it at 60 FPS. But moving on, we got to talk about Anthem for a second because a big explosive report came out by Kotaku and Jason Schreier. Of course, a lot of this is by unnamed sources, but it seems like a lot of these accounts are legit. I'm actually going to recommend this article as like my long read for the week. It's very long, it's very depressing, but essentially it goes into, in detail, what went wrong with the development of Anthem within BioWare, and it's pretty rough. It seems to be a couple of things. Not what everyone was expecting, where it was just EA coming into ruining it. It seems more of mismanagement on BioWare's part. It seems like the team set out early to make something, but they didn't quite know what they wanted to make, and by the time they finally got somewhat of a cohesive vision and started production, it was too late. Too many changes were made along the way, and honestly, the more you read into it, it seems like the main chunk of Anthem was put together in like a year. That's insane. The story has a lot of interesting details about some higher level people's departure, some disagreements on some game mechanics. At the start of the game, apparently it was way more space astronaut based and then moved over to an Iron Man concept. The actual flying mechanic was something that they had in the game, then they took it out, then they decided to put it back in. Apparently the crunch and the development did also have an effect on the mental health of some developers, and a lot of it all came down to the fact that some of upper management was just non-committal on some decisions of the game. Apparently there were meetings where no definitive answer was made, update, so nobody knew what to work on next. EA and BioWare came out preemptively and essentially said like, hey, don't believe everything you read. But then, according to reports, it looks like there was an internal memo at Bio with Casey Hudson himself acknowledging some of the issues, some of the structural issues within BioWare, and that they need to get better. Props to him for owning up to it within his team. Of course, action will really be the greatest thing, more than talk. We'll have to wait and see. But this was really interesting, and I'm just really curious to see where this goes. What happens next? You know, can Anthem become something finally cohesive, what some people originally envisioned? I feel bad for the people that were excited for Anthem, the people who were excited to make Anthem. It seems like just a big bummer all around, but I'm hoping something good can come out of it. I'm also sometimes like relentlessly disgustingly positive, and I know that pisses some people off. But moving on to other news, something that seems like it was possibly brought on by issues with Anthem and people requesting refunds. Sony and PSN have updated their refund policy, so just in the sake of keeping you guys informed, this is the deal. This new refund essentially lets you apply for a refund, no questions asked, on any pre-ordered game you have before it releases, and for other digital purchases up to like 14 days after release. But with some caveat, apparently it has to be like if you didn't play or download or stream the game. But the terminology is also kind of open-ended because they do use the word faulty games, which might leave it open for, you know, certain situations like Anthem where you download and buy a game and it's a mess and it doesn't work, so you want a refund. I'm curious to see how far this like terminology all goes, but I think this is still ultimately a good thing for consumers. It's a win. But since we're talking about PlayStation services and their update, a big bomb dropped for Xbox as well. This is still a developing story, like at the time of us making this, but it does seem, according to reports, that Microsoft is going to be essentially bundling in Xbox Live and Xbox Game Pass as one thing that you can pay for. Hey! Hey! Did you get taquitos?
I did.
Yes! Yes! So it looks like in the future, $15 will net you both, essentially saving some people like $5, which is pretty cool. If you're on console and you're into that all-digital future, this is definitely for you. Also, talking real quick, mentioning that was from a Kotaku article, there is also a new report out about the upcoming next Assassin's Creed game. Apparently, it is going to take place in Viking lore legend stuff. We don't have too much information about that. That article literally just came out, so we're putting this in the video for the sake of completion. So let's move on. But moving on over to my favorite part of the show, let's just break down some stuff you may have missed. This is all going to be linked in the description below. Basically, it's a bunch of trailers. The first is yet another Borderlands 3 trailer. This one gives us the official release date, which was kind of leaked the day before. It's dropping on September 13th. I think that's just the right time. I think that's pretty good, sliding in right before the holiday season. They also did finally confirm that it is an Epic Game Store exclusive for 6 months. But we also got a good gameplay overview of World War Z, a game that was not on my radar at all, but the more I see of it, it's looking kind of cool, man. I'm down for like a third-person Left 4 Dead. It's not based on the Brad Pitt movie, really, so that's good. But we also, from PAX East, got an extended live gameplay demo of the Outer Worlds. And I gotta say, it's looking a little rough. Of course, this is early, but still not really what I was expecting. It has, and it still is, one of my most anticipated games. But it definitely looks like the initial reveal was just a damn good, well-made trailer, and the rest of the game isn't quite there yet. I'm still holding on to hope, but we'll have to wait and see. One last thing we did link in the description is, we mentioned her earlier, Shirley Curry, the Skyrim grandma. Gameumentaries put out a really good one focusing on her. It's definitely worth a watch. Go check it out. Now, of course, it wouldn't be an episode of the Friday Show without a Cyberpunk 2077 tiny update, because that's all we get for this game. But this one's pretty interesting. After an interview, it seems like CD Projekt Red is saying that Cyberpunk 2077 missions won't have a fail state. So the way it works apparently is that the game over screen is only a thing when you die. You can't just fail a mission. This is very weird, but also incredibly ambitious for the fact that CD Projekt Red is essentially doing something really challenging to design every mission to essentially accommodate any sort of weird screw up or something you will try to do during a mission. For the game to handle all that and just keep rolling with the punches and not stopping you and making you start over is insanely ambitious and can be really impressive if they pull it off. If anyone can pull it off, I mean, even just from like a writing standpoint, I think they definitely can, but that's something I'm really excited to see. I'm actually more excited for this game now because it's just like a weird curiosity now to see how that'll play out. But Before we go, we got to do that console giveaway we do every single week. You know how this goes down. There's a link in the description below. You click it to sign up. You enter once, then you're entered for good. Because every single week we go in and randomly choose one person to win a free console of their choice. And this week's winner is going to be... Oh, right there. Congratulations. Be sure to keep an eye on your inbox, your spam box, stuff like that, because we're going to be reaching out to you to find out how we can send you your free stuff. Now, before we wrap up, before we go real quick, this episode is brought to you by Skillshare. It's essentially an online learning community for creators. I'm genuinely into this because people ask me all the time for advice, like how to get into YouTube, how to get into the gaming industry, and I always say the internet is a great place to start. Skillshare here has over 25,000 different classes to choose from to help you with like your art, learn the basics of business, or learn video editing. Heck, I've been checking out Jordy Vanderput's classes on video editing just to kind of brush up on my color correction skills because I really need it. You can really never stop learning. It's really good for all avenues of education, and it's just easy to find what you're looking for thanks to reviews and a built-in community. It's really affordable because you can land an annual subscription for less than $10 a month, too. So here's the deal. There's this link right here. This link is going to be linked in the description below. The first 500 of our subscribers who go down there can check it out and get a 2-month free trial. So I'd say go check it out and go learn something. Big ups to Skillshare for sponsoring this video, but now we got to talk about all the stuff going on this week. So many questions. First of all, did you watch that Outer Worlds gameplay? What do you think? Are you let down? Are you still hopeful? Also, did you read that whole Anthem story? What do you think the biggest failure of the whole project was? Do you like photorealism technology in games, or would you rather things focus more on art style over raw graphical power? I could take both. Either way, at the end of the day, like I said, the game just has to be fun. Are you excited for Borderlands 3? Do you have strong opinions about that? Let's talk about any of this stuff down in the comments. We'll be down there talking to you guys as much as possible. But of course, if you got anything else, or if you want to yell at me, hit me up on Twitter and Instagram at Jake Baldino. And also a big shout out to those of you who said hi to us at PAX East, or if you came out to see our live show. If you do want to watch that, that will be linked in the description. There's a playlist on the main page, just kind of like the archive version of our live Tuesday show. It was really awesome to meet a lot of you guys out there and just get some feedback, talk about video games and stuff. It really made my year, so thank you. But thank you guys as always for coming around every Friday to talk about video game news and stuff. If you enjoyed this video, clicking the like button is the best way you can hook us up. We'd really appreciate that. But if you are new, it's worth subscribing because I'm here every Friday. I'm doing before you buys, and we put out videos just every single day. But as always, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Pizza's on me.